Hi everyone. So I want to make a video about how you can bolster up the area you clamp your rear seat to a deckhand style rod. Yeah, here in Southern California, deckhand style rods are very popular, and most of us, I'm pretty sure all of us have some sort of deckhand rods in our arsenal. Um, and throughout my time fishing, I've broken a few blanks by screwing the reel on too tight to the rods. So over the years, what I've done is try to cushion that area a little bit by some sort of material, so that it'll lessen the blow of the pressure that the reel exerts on the rod. And I've tried many things, and these what I'm about to show you is probably the best and easiest for me anyway. So hopefully you guys can learn from this and find it helpful and try it on your own rods. So there are a couple of things you can do. This is the simplest way, and most tackle shop and rod builders will do this as well. And it's just a piece of shrink wrap over the area that you're going to clamp your reel. Yeah, this is great and all, but the only problem is there's not really any cushion under here. It's just that piece of rubber, the X-wrap. So what I did here is under here I put a little bit of the thick electrical tape that provides a tiny bit of cushion, and then the X-wrap over it, which works for this rod because I use a really small reel on this rod, and most instances it's a Trinidad 12A, and it seems to be working fine. So that's one way that you guys could do it, either straight shrink wrap over the area that, or straight X wrap over the area that you're going to put the reel in. A lot of people do it this way, but like I said, it doesn't really provide much cushion, which is kind of the point of the whole process. Okay. Yeah, the other way I do it, and this is what I'm going to show you in this video, is with this, and this actually provides quite a bit of cushion under the area here. So you can clamp on as tight as you want, and your blank would be protected. And what this is just a piece of cork tape under it. So just a piece of cork tape going lengthwise down the blank, down the rod, and then covering it up with electrical tape. Really simple, really easy to do, and surprisingly durable. For instance, this rod, I did this maybe 3 years ago, and it's still going strong. I mean, it's showing signs of a little bit of tear because of where you clamp on and the screws and all that. But as far as its durability, I mean, it's still working. I think for this rod, this is one of the first one that I was experimenting with, and I did a piece of cork tape on the top and a cork tape on the bottom as well. So that can get really thick. So over my subsequent tries, I've only done it for the top and not do it for the bottom. And I don't think it's really necessary to do it on both sides. But it's up to you. You guys want to do it. So just looking at these two ways of bolstering your seat here, a logical question would be, why can't I put the cork tape here and put the X-wrap over it as opposed to electrical tape? Well, here's the answer to that, and I have tried it before. It gets way too thick the X wrap is actually really thick. If if you've never done it before, if you've never handled it before, you'd be surprised how thick that is, and heavy as well. So if you have cork tape under it and the X wrap over it, it looks really bulky. I tried it on one rod, and it didn't go too well. It actually just didn't look right at all. So I ripped the X wrap off and just used the electrical tape. So that's what we're gonna do right now, and I'll show you guys how to do it. Like I said, it's really simple, really easy, and it lasts. So that's really all you can ask for. Okay, so here are the material that you would need to do this. Cork tape. I just bought this at a tackle store. You can usually get them online or get them at a tackle store for maybe $1 a foot, or something like that. And electrical tape. So that's really all you need. So here is my rod. As you can see here, it's a brand new rod. Haven't been used. I haven't used it. So, and it does not have anything to protect the blank. Most guys would just put the reel seat right on here and clamp on, which is fine. It works. It works for a while. But then after some time, you're gonna notice an indentation on the wrap. It kind of ruins the tuna cord. And also, you clamp too hard, like I mentioned earlier, you can actually crack the blank, and I've done that a couple of times, and that's what kind of led me to start doing this. So I've already marked where I want my seat to be on with this piece of tape here. Everybody's different. For me, this is exactly where I like it to be make it comfortable. I have two type of positions for my deckhand rods. One for throwing irons, and one for bait. Usually with the bait, I have it closer down, because when I'm fighting a fish, I want to be comfortable with my arm length to be reeling it in this position, almost 90 degrees, so that I'm not reaching over, I'm not stretching out too much. And then for throwing iron, I want it to be a little bit higher, just to give me space for casting. So this is where I want this seat to be. So let's go ahead and do this. Usually a reel seat is about 5 inches. So you want to keep your space around that much, about 5 inches or less. Yeah, for me, 5 inches is really big, because if you look at the base of a reel, it's only a couple of inches, so you don't really need 5 inches. So I'm gonna cut a piece. This is maybe 2 inches, a little bit over 2 inches. Yeah, there. And then I will put it on the rod first without peeling the adhesive in the back, just to see how it looks and get a position of where the guides are. You want to align with the guides, obviously. And this is kind of a tough part in the beginning if you're not used to doing it, because there's a curvature on the rod, and you want to align with the guides, as well as lay nicely along the blank. So now that I've done that, I'm gonna take the adhesive piece off and then try to get back to that position. And it'll probably take you a couple of times to do that. Okay, I think there we go. There we go. Yeah, this is pretty good. You don't need to get it so precise. You don't have to get it perfectly precise because you just want the area to be padded. When you're putting your reel on your rod, that's where the precision comes from anyway, because that's where you want it to really be aligned with the reel. Yeah. So it can be a little bit off, and you should be fine. I'm gonna take off my tape marker here. Okay. And I will look again. Yeah. Still in the same position. And now I'm gonna start taping over the cork tape with the electrical tape. So what you want to do is get the first wrap on the outside or the edge of the cork tape first. Here, I'm going to put it closer so you can see. There you go. That way you are taping the blank to the piece of cork tape, and then from there just work your way down to the rest of the cork tape. And you don't want your gap to be too big because you want it to be as secured as possible. And so I'm making my gaps about that much, so it's not very wide. Also keep in mind, when you're doing this, your piece of cork tape will inevitably move on from its original position. So once you're done with this and you look back on your guide, it may be a little bit off, which is fine. Like I said, the most important thing is to have your reel aligned and not so much the reel seat, as long as it's in the general area. And at the end here, you want to even it out so that you have a nice and even look. And I'm gonna cut it on the bottom side. That way the connection is at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's pretty straight. So it's nice and perfect now for you to put a reel on, and then provides a little bit of cushion for that clamp. That way you can clamp it on as tightly as you want and not worry about the rod cracking. Well, I hope this helps. I know for me, I'm very simple. So something like this, and it's functional and it works fine, and I'm fine with it. For others, like I have a buddy that doesn't really like it too much because he's really he's into the aesthetic side of a fishing rod, and think that it may look a little bit tacky. But it's to each their own. For me, like I said, it's very durable. That other piece lasts me 3 years, and it's very simple to do and quick. So it's as long as it works, I'm fine with it. And to be quite honest, I don't think it looks tacky at all. But like I said, it could be just one's personal preference. Okay, guys, if you have any questions with this, please leave your questions below, and I'll answer them. Thanks for watching.